Hello, CEA Group. So now you're cordoned off, and so you're in charge of CEA, right? Your community engagement activity. So week 3, you've already watched 2 wonderful, riveting videos by over here, right?
Boom.
Matt.
You're welcome.
I know. It's been like such a privilege, I'm sure, already for you. So now you get both of us. I think this is the only video that's both of us for week 3, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, you're like the lucky people.
Boom.
So, week 3, what we need to start talking about on the CEA side is team identity, right? So, if you look in your book, I think it's page 40 something, right? In there, we're going to start talking about team identity. And so what team identity is basically a way for your team to start cohesing together, becoming a unit, right? For us right now, you're a generic team. You are West Point 1, you are Florence 4, you are whatever, right? That's just boring because that's just your high school and the number we gave you. So now what you can start doing is creating your own identity. And that's the way everybody's going to start knowing you by and calling you by it. And if you let us know and start doing it as enough, we'll start calling you by it as well. So it becomes to make you a more cohesive unit so you can really take ownership in what you're doing. And so that's what this is all about. It basically, once you do this, once you develop your team name, your slogan behind your name, and your logo, that's what you'll use the rest of the semester. That's what you'll end up calling yourself. You'll end up still having to use the generic things when we fill out stuff online, right? But beyond that, the rest of the time, you'll be whatever team name you come up with, right? And so you can see it allows people who are not even associated with your project to start relating to you in that way. And really, this is one of the first basic decisions that you make as a team in this identity portion with the name. And so it starts to tell people what you're thinking, how you think as a team. So it's kind of a neat little exercise from that perspective. So, got anything to add about that?
Now, yeah, the team identity, some people don't think it's that important, but it really is very important. It's something that your entire team can rally behind. Your team is not going to rally behind if your team is, hi, we're, we're Vinemont 2. That's our team. You can't rally behind that, but you can rally behind, we are team awesome, or that's a terrible name.
Explosion.
Yeah, explode. No, but booms are bad.
I know.
We're team alive, or we're team
dead.
Pompeii. Dead. Dead's not so much. Dead is not something you rally behind very well. So you see how important the team name is, that team identity is. It's, but I mean, you guys, you get behind your football team at school, you get behind your sports teams like Bama, Auburn, that type of thing. Everybody can get behind these things, and it's because of the identity that you associate with them. I mean, that's what you want from your team. You want your team to get behind a common goal and to feel like they're part of a team. That's what the team identity does. And it helps a lot. We see it a lot with our college students. We take an entire year with them, and sometimes we let them drag out the team identity for a really long time, and they don't come up with a team name for a long time. But it's amazing how much they gel together, how much better they start working once they come up with a team name, a team identity. And they're like, okay, this is our team, and this is what we are about, and let's do this. And so it's really important. And so I don't want you to think that I'm just going to pick a name out of the encyclopedia or something, or whatever. Do encyclopedias still exist? Probably not. But put some time into this, think about it, consider it, make it be a team effort, something everyone can buy into, and then everyone will get behind it.
Okay. So the identity starts with the name, right? The team name. There's different ways to approach this. One idea is it's something to do with your school. So some with your mascot, your slogan, whatever. People have done this before, so you can figure out what you want to do from there. It gives you some identity from the fact it starts pulling in your high school as a part of it. Another idea is to basically have it relate to your science objective, and that's probably the most prevalent team names we've seen over the years, is somehow it's linked to their science objective. So then it really links really quickly, because the linking of the name, the slogan, and the logo is extremely important. There's one slide called Team Identity in both the PSR and the PCR and the final review. So it's not both, it's 3 3 different reviews called Team Identity. And everyone says, our team name is blah, our slogan is woohoo, whatever, and our logo is this. Next slide. And judges always go, oh, you just missed it. Because what you should do is explain the linkage between those and why that's what it is. Remember, this is your first choice you're going to make. So why did you make it that? You know, why was that important to you to make your name whatever? You know, that's what you're after. You can create an acronym, you know, if you want it to be an acronym, because remember, all the things we do are acronyms. We talk about acronyms all the time. But they've got to make sense to everybody, you know. You can even do a backronym, like Matt talked about, where you say, we want to be team blah, and then you make the acronym come out of it, right?
That's happened more often than not.
Yeah, so, but you've got to, when you back into it, it still has to make sense. Everybody still needs to go, ah, that's cute. Not everybody going, what? You know, that's not going to work too well.
If you
can't be offensive.
Yeah, no.
No, nothing like that. So again, team names and stuff, remember we said, teachers totally in charge, they're the clearinghouse for all this.
And it can't be intentionally confusing. We had a team in our college class. We have rooms that our college students meet in. And one team was in room A. They were in room A. And so we used to call them Team A. But they named their team Team B, Team B-E-E. And Team B named themselves something else. But so Team A's name was Team B. And they thought they were so clever. But the review board, not so much.
Right.
They did not think that was clever at all.
Yes.
They thought it was confusing and silly and stupid, and they weren't being professional.
Right.
And so they ended up being scored that way. So yeah, offensive is bad. Now we had a team last semester called Tryptophan acid droplets, Team Toad. Are they on here? No. And they were concerned that they were kind of risque, tryptophan acid droplets. The judges were fine with it. It was, it was a cute. They had a little toad, little icon.
But they were measuring acid rain on Venus.
Yeah, so it worked.
So it worked, right?
So so I mean, it wasn't offensive. It worked. It made sense.
Yeah. So here's a few examples of things we've seen in the past. We've had Team Pompeii, and they were studying volcanoes on Venus, right? Makes sense. Pompeii is a very famous volcano that obliterated, or it's actually Vesuvius, but it obliterated the city of Pompeii. So it made sense for that one.
The movie came out at the same time too. So
yeah, so see, that's kind of how what's triggered them to think about that.
Very timely.
Yeah.
We showed you the poster in that first video.
Right. Team Eruption, we're studying volcanoes on Titan, so that one makes sense, right? Volcanoes erupt. Team Alive was actually an acronym, and it was analyzing lower inner Venus environment, right? See how they had to kind of make this one work? And basically what they were doing was looking at the lower atmosphere of Venus to see if it had the conditions for life, right? So, there we go. Because lower, Venus environment, the lower atmosphere of Venus, and alive life, right? Mm-hmm. All of that worked together. Team Storm, Saturn's thunderstorm of radical magnitude. Again, they played with the radical part to get the R, right?
A little bit of forcing.
The O. We wouldn't normally put the of with the O as the part of it, but they did. And basically they were looking at the white spot, which is a storm on Saturn. So you can see how these names kind of fit with what they're doing and all that kind of stuff. So those were kind of some examples we showed you on those.
So we're doing Europa and Jupiter this semester.
Right.
There's lots of stuff there you can use for ammunition.
Right. Jupiter is a very large planet. His other name is Zeus in Greek mythology. Lightning bolt was this symbol. You got all kinds of stuff. I have no clue what Europa was, but it's something.
Yeah, it's on Wikipedia. It's
right.
I've forgotten. what Europa was named for. It's a weird one of those weird Greek mythology stories that don't make sense.
Right. And Europa, and you've got Ice, Team Ice. That kind of thing. All those kind of things can work for you. Just think about it. Sit down and come up with some creative ideas. You guys are really good at this part. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to watch how creative you can be. Our college kids, not so much.
Not creative.
They'd rather be Team A the rest of the semester, So they get boring. This is the cool stuff. And you'll see on Friday, December 12th, if you have a really cool name and you're really into it and you're jazzed about it, the board really starts to interact with you and gets really excited too. Because they're like, oh, this is cool. They really thought about this. They thought, what should our name be?
Excitement breeds excitement. That's what you want. You want the board to sense your excitement about your team name, your identity, and they will get excited. They will sense your excitement, and they will in turn get excited, and they will judge you better. They will, they're like, yeah, this team's stoked. There's,
Look at him, he's getting excited. He's
I know.
going off to the grill.
Oh. So
he didn't do this normally.
I know. I just had Dr. Pepper and pretzels, and your team.
Wait till he gets peeps.
Woo. I didn't know what you were saying there for a minute. I was like, what? And your team, the name will really help you with the board too. It might not seem like it, but it will. It brings your team together, but also the board will appreciate the effort that you put into it, and they'll get excited with you.
Okay, slogan, second part of the identity. Usually has something to do with the team name and or the school or the mascot, etc. Basically, these should be neat little sayings that will make people smile when they hear it, and they'll remember you, okay? So this is the really cool part, when you can come up with some neat slogans.
In a good way.
Yes,
Remember,
in a positive way.
In a positive way.
Not in a negative way. We don't want the, oh, no. We shouldn't have said that,
Yeah.
So again, teachers approve these slogans. So slogans that we've had. With Pompeii, remember they were studying the volcanoes. Theirs was verifying volatile volcanoes on Venus. They went for the VVVV thing, right?
The alliteration is not bad.
Yeah, but that one would have been boring to me, but they went with it. Eruption, this is the one that I can still remember when they first told us this 2 or 3 years ago.
Because they were worried about it.
Yeah, as they said, we kick ash, right? Because they were looking for volcanoes on Titan. So one of the things was the ash that comes out of a volcano. But when they say we kick ash, everybody thinks they said the ASS instead of ASH, right?
They got
and so
it.
everybody
They had to
goes,
explain.
yeah, everybody's like, ooh, what is that?
For a brief moment, yeah.
Right?
It's
And
provocative.
So, yeah, and so it really is neat. Because everybody then goes, I want to understand more about this thing, So that really gets you going. Alive, used uncovering a whole new world, So they were going after the whole new life, new world out there. And storms basically was into the storm. Yeah, right? But you could do that. We also had another team, they were studying Saturn, right? And Saturn's other name is Cronus, who is the father of the gods. He's the father of Zeus and all that, if you remember Greek mythology, right? So their slogan was, who's your daddy? And so everybody's like, oh, that's kind of neat. You're playing off the Cronus thing, and all that. And everybody, who's your daddy, And so it was really neat from that perspective. And they always did it like that, like, who's your daddy, when they would say something. So it was really cool from that perspective. And it made everybody go, that's a neat idea. That's a neat project,
I didn't get that one at first because I don't know Greek mythology that well. So.
Yeah, and you have to be a little bit higher intelligence level to get it. But, that's all right. We can work with it. So that's the slogan. Last but not least is the logo. And these get really fun and interesting to watch happen. Logos usually have something to do with the team name of the school, right? And the big thing behind the logo, several teams always think, we have to do this, we have to do this, we have to do this. No. If you have an art class, an art teacher, or you have a really good friend who draws really well that's not a part of the class, go get them.
This logo? My wife did our logos. So
yes.
It doesn't have to be your team. It can be.
We don't do the logos.
You can pull somebody in.
Right. And so you can see the 4 logos here, Pompeii's, eruptions, alive, storms. And you can see like Pompeii, see they have something shooting out of the volcano, right?
But it also looks like a volcano, but also it kind of has that look of the native indigenous people that lived in Pompeii at the time. It's got like a dual meaning to me. Looks like a kind of an Indian headdress type deal too. So
they were Italians.
Whatever. It looks.
Obviously, he doesn't know geography either.
It was a long time ago, though. Whatever. Not Indian, but you know what I mean, like indigenous people to that region. That's why I said
Roman.
Rome. I don't know. Yeah.
Romans wore that.
Yes.
Did you watch the movie Pompeii?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see them on their heads?
Yes.
He's going with this because he is not right. I don't know why he went down that path.
The M looks like a volcano there with the lava coming out. It's kind of neat.
We'll go with it,
That's what the M does look like a volcano.
Yes, that's correct. Right. So eruption, see the volcano and you see the spewing out at the top because remember they were we kick ash, so there's the ash.
That's actually a sports team logo that they borrowed.
Yeah.
Liberated.
So alive, see the heartbeat, right, the monitor. So that was kind of neat. And then storm went after the whole tornado and stuff like that. So again, these are really cool, creative things that you can get behind and do. So go talk to people, toss out ideas, come out with a lot of different ideas. And then as a team, I mean, you guys as the group need to narrow down the field, but then have the team sit down as a group and say, all right, what do we want to be called? What are the ideas? What's that kind of thing? And then go off and figure this out. Get some people working on artwork and stuff like that. And like I said, external is great. If you've got some people, other people, and go, wow, they know how to really draw. We can get them involved. Go get them. And so it'll be a really neat experience for them.
Yeah, unless you're just super, super talented at this and have done this before, this is not easy. And the only way to do this, the logos, the whole team identity, the only way to do this is to just start throwing out ideas and to get together and say, look, there's no bad ideas. Let's just start throwing ideas out, because ideas will prompt more ideas and more ideas. It's amazing how that, it's ideas
begat ideas.
Begat ideas. Thank you, Isaac. Or Abraham. But so yes, ideas begat ideas. So that's the best way to do it, to start throwing ideas out. There's no bad ideas. Brainstorm, get together, and just let it go.
So next week, we're going to come see you. It's called Team Progress Report number 1, where you're going to provide a briefing to us. The team is, and you're a part of the team. Your part of this is to tell us what ideas you have for team identity. You don't have to have a team name yet. You don't have to have a slogan. You don't have to have a logo. But you've got to have ideas, right?
You can come up with ideas.
You can come up with ideas and explain those ideas to us and why you think these are good ideas, right? Because I'm hoping you don't tell us about the bad ideas.
Yeah.
So give us the good ideas, and then we can talk from there.
Don't be like, this is one of our ideas, but we think it sucks. This is another idea, it's terrible too.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. Tell us the good ideas, the candidates you got so far, and what you're thinking down those lines.
And then if you're torn between two different options, tell us why. Tell us what the deal is,
Yep, all that's up for grabs. Okay? Cool. So, hopefully this will help you guys start down that path for team identity.
Hopefully.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Ciao.